So I grew up in an aviation family. The health of the used market drives the health of a new market. We start with a roll of aluminum. About 5 months later, an aircraft like this.
Let me introduce Jacqueline. I'm very grateful to you that you were able to devote some time during your hectic schedule at Friedrichshafen Aero. Tell us a bit of Piper Corporation and the models and why you are here and what do you think about the exhibition. And let's start with the Piper.
Yeah, so we'll start with the company. This is our 85th year, so we are a legacy aircraft manufacturer.
Okay.
So we started in 1937 about, and we're most well known for an aircraft called the PIPER-CUB. And so that aircraft, when we started the business, that was the launch aircraft that they were manufacturing at the time. Today, fast forward, we have a product line of roughly 8 different models that consists, the top of the line would be the aircraft behind us, which is the M600 SLS.
Yeah, it's a very nice aircraft.
But we also have a number of products that are in the trainer market. So we're very well known for producing aircraft for the training industry. So combination of single engine, basic trainers to multi-engine trainers. So quite a vast range of products that we produce, all of which are built at our worldwide global headquarters, which is in Vero Beach, Florida. It's on the east coast of Florida.
So it's American aircraft.
It is an American aircraft. We are 94% vertically integrated, which means that 94% of the aircraft that is here is made at the factory in Vero Beach. So we are not assemblers of components that other people make and ship to us. We start with a roll of aluminum, and at the end, about 5 months later, an aircraft like this.
So it means that you are not exposed to the shortage of spare parts as all other producers are.
So we aren't immune to the current supply chain issues. We do have issues. We've been fortunate that I believe that they've been manageable. But there are, we're faced with very long lead times on certain components right now. So certain aspects of the aircraft that maybe took us, a couple weeks to get, now take maybe months, if not a year to acquire. So there are some pockets of issues, but we build our schedule about almost a year in advance. We kind of have visibility on what we're going to build. And then as we get closer in, we narrow all of that down. It requires that we have a very strong partnership with our vendors so that we can get the raw materials and the components that we need to finish aircraft on time.
So, but it would be nice if one day you invite us to see the factory.
You are invited.
Yes,
you are invited. Vero Beach is lovely.
Yes, so maybe we can plan it after the
it's worth visiting.
NBA events in the end of the year.
Yes, that's perfect timing because it's only an hour and a half from Orlando to Vero Beach. It's worth the visit because it's about 750 square feet of factory and then roughly same amount in ramp space, and it's really amazing to watch how they build the airplanes.
You export to Europe all the 7 types of aircraft?
Yeah. All of the aircraft that we currently manufacture have some level of EASA approval, and we have a dealer network through which we distribute the bulk of those aircraft.
Do you have any Piper finance or?
So the nice thing about Piper Aircraft is we have a dealer network that we sell our airplanes through. So the dealers have become very familiar with what financing options are in their own countries. So there are a number of banks that will finance the purchase of an aircraft.
It's important that if we are speaking about local financing, it's important that bank know the aircraft and the second-hand market of this.
Exactly. And the second-hand market, the used market, is incredibly important because the health of the used market drives the health of a new market. So they work hand in hand. So, and now the used market is incredibly aggressive, just as aggressive as the new market. This is kind of an unprecedented situation that we're in. I think we're all grateful for it, but we also have to exercise some control. So, but our dealers are a great asset because they then know exactly what financing options would exist in those countries and maybe where the best terms are for the customer.
And the question which always asked by the potential buyers and clients, what about maintenance in Europe?
Yep. So what's another great thing about Piper Aircraft is we have worldwide just nearly 80 service centers. So we have quite a few service centers throughout Europe. Our dealer, we have most of our European dealers are represented here, all of which have some sort of maintenance support program in place. Piper Germany, in fact, is one of the biggest maintenance providers, as well as the largest parts distributor in Europe. So we have a great footprint for both parts and service in the European market, which is, as you pointed out, critically important.
As aircraft owner, I always ask question, where is the stock of the spare parts?
Oh, great. Yes, exactly. And a lot of people forget to ask that question. It's one of the most important questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if your plane is no good sitting on the ground. So we distribute our parts through Boeing.
Okay.
And Boeing, thankfully, has this very large distribution network. And so we have parts located around the world. But we have a number of locations in Europe, with Piper Germany being the largest one.
That's really important, because even with all these fast post services, express mails and so on, we face the situation that sometimes spare parts can stay in customs, even in Germany, for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and so on. So that's.
So what we do with Boeing is we forecast. We know which parts are most in demand. So they make sure to have a turn. Basically, they can turn parts. That's our requirement, that they can turn things within 24 hours. I think they have a 96% turn rate. So you order the part, it's on the shelf, they can ship it out. Based on the experience of the service centers that maintain these aircraft, they know which parts are most commonly needed. So they're very good at making sure that they have the stock in place of those components that are most likely to be needed for these aircraft.
How you personally came to aviation?
And so I grew up in an aviation family.
Ah, that explains a lot.
Yeah, so my father was chief pilot of Mobil Oil.
Okay.
And so the 3 kids, right, we all grow up, and we all end up at an aviation university in Florida called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So we all went to aviation school. And when I graduated, I was working for Air France at Dulles Airport.
So it even makes us even more closer.
Yes.
And I heard that you even speak French.
I do speak un petit peu. And then I interned with Air Inter. Now I'm really dating myself now, in Toulon, in the south of France.
Yes.
And then went on to work for an airline that...
We have an office in the airport of Toulon.
I love it there. They have a huge a port there for military ships. Very interesting place to go and visit. But and then I ended up with another airline that doesn't exist anymore, as I think that just happens to everybody. And then I was in the training business for quite some time with Flight Safety International. So I have a very strong pilot training background, both type specific and initial ratings and certification. And then of course have been with Piper now for 15 years.
It's nice that you mentioned that. Where do you have a training?
Great question. So we have a couple training providers. The primary training provider that's approved by the factory is actually at OK Aviation. That's our dealer in the Czech Republic.
Yes.
And that's the primary provider of type-specific training.
Okay.
But if someone feels like they want to pay a visit to Florida, especially in the winter, we do have training available at the factory with a company called Legacy Flight Training, and they do have simulators available to training, and they also provide training in aircraft.
And the final probably question, which I ask everybody, what do you think about this show? Do you like the show? Would you come again? And have you achieved anything special during the show?
So starting with the last question, have we achieved anything special? Yeah. We've been able to be with our colleagues, our vendors, our customers. This has been almost like a homecoming, right? It's a wonderful opportunity to be close to the people most important to us, our dealers, our customers, our vendors, and our enthusiasts, people who don't necessarily own our airplanes, but they love our brand. So that's been probably the most wonderful achievement. Second to that has been, you can clearly see and hear the excitement about aircraft ownership and about kind of a return to normal. So that is promising for us as we do planning for production and growth for our company. Would we come back here? I will tell you, this is one of our most favorite shows. This is the best general aviation event outside the United States to participate in. So it would be foolish to not come here. It is worth every single penny to be here.
I agree. And are you coming to eBase?
Yes.
Oh, so next time we meet at eBase.
We will be in Geneva, so we'll be outside. We'll be there, and we'll bring, I think we're bringing an Archer
think we're bringing an Archer DX.
It would be another aircraft.
Yeah,
there.
so we'll have a 350, a 600, and probably an Archer of some flavor. I don't know yet.
Okay, so it will be really opportunity to see the Archer.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and bring a diesel, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, should be nice.
Okay, thank you very much. It was really great day, great discussion, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you.